About1 here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video. And in today's Yu-Gi-Oh video, we are going to be talking about the side deck, and specifically the 5 best cards this format to be siding, in my personal opinion. Now, obviously, we've had a lot of stuff come out this format. We've had the new ban list, obviously, which was started off the format. Then we had Dark Neostorm. We've had multiple events just showing us what the best decks are, what's good to play, how you should probably be playing certain decks, and I felt it was time to discuss cards that should be sided in this format. Now, I came up with this list purely because I felt like there are a lot of different side deck choices this format that you could potentially choose to use, potentially do with, change, put in, and obviously with new deck introductions such as the Orca strategy just being boosted heavily without Azathoth and just gaining stuff like Dingirsu, and also being like Mystic Mine has come out, and obviously old decks still staying around with like Solomon Great getting like Signet Mining, and Thunder Dragon just still being a really good deck, and like Striker and other stuff being around. I felt like it was time to talk about the best side deck cards in this format. So, without further ado, I'm going to give you guys the 5 best side deck cards in my personal opinion, in no particular order. Like, all of these are, I would say, around the same level for their own individual reasons. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into this. And also, guys, please press the subscribe button and notification bell, because if you enjoy these kind of topics, then I'm going to do them and you can see them. The grind for 1,000 subs is hard, man. Come on. Join me. But yeah, let's get into this with the 5 best side deck cards this format, in my personal opinion. So, first of all, it's an obvious one. It's something that everybody should be siding right now. If you're not siding it, I highly suggest you side this card, and that is Artifact Lancia. Now, Artifact Lancia is a very good card this format. It basically is a hand trap that prevents your opponent from banishing, or, well, either player from banishing cards. And seeing as it has that effect, this deck card actually affects some of the strongest decks in the format and some of the strongest cards in the format. Firstly being something like Orcust. Orcust is a deck that revolves highly around banishing cards right now. It needs to be able to banish the Orcust monsters themselves, to be able to summon from the deck, summon from the grave, send to the grave, summon from the banished. You need to be able to banish cards to be able to resolve these Orcust effects, and this card prevents that. Same in Orcust as well. This card also prevents the Phantom Knight engine from being able to just gain any extra trap cards. This card just wrecks Orcust to an insane degree, and definitely a card that you should be playing for Orcust, but there are also other reasons why you should be playing this card, such as Thunder Dragons. Haha! Nice gold sarcophagus you got there, Chain Artifact Lancia. Now you can't banish that Thunder Dragon! Ha ha! And also other reasons why this card is just good against Thunder Dragons. They can't use the Aloof Lupine, they can't use any of the Chaos Dragons, such as the Wyvern Busters, they can't use any of their banished cards, such as Allura's Darkness, to gain more advantage. Artifact Lancia is just being able to ruin 2 of the best decks of the format is definitely a very good card to use, seeing as it prevents the Orca strategy, it prevents the Thunder Dragon strategy to a certain extent, and also it just prevents any card that can banish in the game right now. So if your opponent's playing some random card in their main deck, or if you feel like your opponent is playing like evenly matched, then you can just shove this card into your main deck and prevent something silly like that. So, Artifact Lancia, very good card this format. It prevents the Orca strategy, it prevents the Thunder Dragon strategy, it prevents any card that banishes. Great card to side this format. Honestly, guys, I heavily suggest you side this card. This card is broken. Just being able to prevent the entire Orcust deck. Literally, you activate Lancia, they can't play the game. Be able to prevent Thunder Dragons to a certain extent. Do it on a Thunder Dragon player. Very hard for them to play the game. And just in general, on multiple different decks that like to banish cards. So, Lancia, first card on this list. Let's get on to the next one. So, the next card that you should most likely be siding, which is an optional card, I would say, but is a very, very good card to side this format, is Super Polymerization. Now, Super Polymerization is just a very good card this format in general. This card is very powerful for the reason that, one, it can't be responded to, so your opponent can't strike it, warning it, your opponent can't judgment it, your opponent cannot respond to Super Polymerization in any way, shape, or form, and it is able to fusion summon from using cards on either player's side of the field. So if your opponent has a Solomon Great board, a board of multiple dark monsters, a board of Thunder Dragons, a board of a Vortex with an Endymion Supreme Sorcerer, Super Polymerization ruins it. You can summon the Predaplant fusion. You can summon the Muddy Mud Dragon fusion that is generic in nature. You can summon a Starving Venom fusion dragon. You can summon a Solomon Great Violet Chimera. Like, there are just so many generic fusion monsters in this format that this card can counter. That this card can utilize to be able to just counter opponents' boards. Like, this card is insane. Because just think about it. If you're against Solomon Great, they have the one Sunlight Wolf and the Stalio standard end board. You do either of these cards, goodbye board. Against Thunder Dragons, they have a board of Thunder Dragons. Super Polymerization, Thunder Dragon Titan. Get rid of those 3 Thunder Dragons. Against Orcust, your two dark monsters that you normally end on, turn into a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Like, literally, Super Polymerization is just a great card to be able to clear boards this format, and it is great to just be able to counter these really idiotic boards that people can make, and it's just really nice to have that out to cards like these. So, Super Polymerization. Next card, very good card this format, definitely a card that you should consider siding if you feel like you're going to be playing a lot of Solomon Great or Orcust or any dark themed decks in general. So yeah, Super Polymerization, just a great card in general. But yeah, next, Twin Twister, or well, any back row removal in real, but Twin Twister is the best one. This format has Mystic Mine in it, so obviously Twin Twister is going to be on this list. Being able to just kill those back row cards that your opponent Mystic Mine player has, including the Mystic Mine, is very powerful, and having any sort of back row removal to be able to get rid of the Mystic Mine and multiple back row is definitely going to be favored in this format. So if you're not signing Twin Twister or any back row removal, highly suggest you do that. Put it in there now, please. But there's also other reasons why Twin Twister is actually really good this format outside of Mystic Mine, and that is because, for one, Orcust players love to set those back rows. They normally end turns with like 2 to 3 Fog Blade, so having the Twin Twister to get rid of those Fog Blades, very good, very great to be able to do that. Against a Solomon Great player, they normally end on 2 back row as well, so being able to get rid of their Rage or their Roar, or Rage, if they got Twin Twister, you're gonna Roar the Twin Twister, but being able to get rid of the Rage or any other back row that they have set, definitely a very good thing as well. And against any back row decks such as Altergeist, such as Guru Control, such as anything that can set back row, this card would just be insane. But obviously, the main targets of Twin Twister is going to be that Mystic Mining, but generally, it's just a very good card to side against a lot of these meta-relevant decks right now, so definitely a card that you guys should all consider playing as well, just because it has the ability to counteract a lot of these decks back row, as well as Mystic Mine. So, definitely another good card to side. Don't have any regrets about ever siding these. Like, I'm maining them in Solomon Great, so if you're not maining them, definitely side them. I would suggest you side some back row removal. Don't go into any event without back row removal this format. Yeah. Wave Motion Cannon and a Maho Shoujo or a Mystic Mine, it's not fun. It's not fun. So yeah, deal with it in those ways. Next though, it's a very powerful card, this format. It's a card that you all should be siding, in my personal opinion, for multiple different reasons. And that is Evenly Matched. Now, a lot of people have gone out of favor with Evenly Matched, but this format, Evenly Matched, is actually a very powerful card again, for multiple reasons. First of all, look at the boards that a Thunder Dragon player makes. If they don't end on that Spell and Trap negation, which they most of the time don't because we're in a very monster-heavy format outside of the Mystic Mine deck, you're clearing their board. You're clearing their board. gone, done with. You don't have to deal with anything but the one monster they leave, which will probably be a Colossus. Against Orcust. Orcust cannot deal with evenly matched. If you evenly match an Orcust player, then they have to get rid of everything but the Babble, because if they don't get rid of everything but the Babble, then the Babble is banished, they can no longer use quick effects, and they're unable to summon that Dingisu back from the graveyard after you have evenly matched them. So they lose out on all their negates, their Fog Blades, their Link Monsters on board, the Galatea that they most likely have on board, their Counter Trap they would have set on your opponent's turn, on your own turn. Like, they lose out on all of that. Against Pendulums, if you're able to bluff out their negates, Evenly Matched is a great card against them as well, because of Pendulum without scales, they're not going to do much. Literally, a Pendulum player who loses all their scales and has lost all their negates is done. They can't play the game anymore. Against Salamon Great, being able to just banishing everything they have as well, insane. A Sky Striker player, if you're up against Sky Strikers, they set up everything, they pass, they have the Maho Shoujo as well. They have to banish everything but the Maho Shoujo 9 times out of 10. Which is insane again. Like, literally, Evenly Matched is just a very good card this format against multiple different decks and strategies that if you're not playing it, you're making a huge mistake. Because it's just a very good card in general. It's able to counteract all of these different strategies, all of these different decks that just focus so much on these garbage, these boards that just can't be broken 9 times out of 10. And Evenly Matched allows you to break these boards. Evenly Matched gives you the opportunity to get out of these boards. Against True Draco, Mystic Mine, anything, it will obliterate them. They can't play. They won't be able to play the game. So Evenly Matched is just a very good card this format, for that fact that it just counters all of these decks going second, and it's an insane side deck card right now. So Evenly Matched, definitely an amazing side deck card this format, and a card you guys should all be playing in your side deck, in my personal opinion. All of you, even if you're playing Phantasme, should be playing it. But yeah, last card that I wanted to talk about, it's a card that all of you should be siding for multiple different reasons as well, and that is Red Reboot. Now, Red Reboot is kind of an obvious one why you should be siding this. Any back row deck. If your opponent plays a back row strategy, this is a card you should be playing. Mystic Mine, you should play this so you can Red Reboot their Metaverse to stop them from getting Mystic Mine into the Pendulum Zone. You can do this against Salamon Great to negate their raw rage so they can't actually do anything after the rage. You can do this against an Autogeist player to be able to prevent the Autogeist player from doing any of their trap plays. You can do this against any trap-based deck, and trust me, this is a card that you also want to be siding because of back row decks. Any deck that can play a back row cards should be prevented with Red Reboot. You could put this in against the Orcust matchup as well for their Fog Blades, all of their trap cards that they like to set. True Draco, you could be siding this against that. Guru Control, literally. The sky's the limit with this card. There are so many different decks that utilize back row right now that this is a card that is just really good to side against these decks, and having your side deck to prevent these decks from killing you, doing anything to you, stopping you from winning. It's like there's a ton of different reasons to play this card. And honestly, this is a card that everyone should play in their side deck as well. Literally, Lancia, Evenly, Red Reboot, 3 cards that you should all be playing in your side decks right now. Twin Twister, if you're not maining it, side it. Super Polymerization, it's very optional, that card, because you have to have the fusion monsters as well, but it's good side in general. But Red Reboot, it's another good card that you definitely have to side to prevent all these back row decks as well. But guys, those are the side deck cards. Like, there are obviously other side deck cards out there, like the Kaijus. I personally don't think they're that good right now, because Striker's on the decline. Plus, the boards people are making it a lot better. Raw Sphere Mode, definitely better than Kaijus right now, in my personal opinion, because of what I just said. No Material is another interesting one you could play against Salamon Great and Orcust. Like, there are tons of different side deck cards right now you could be playing for yourselves, but these are just what I personally think are the best side deck cards in the format currently. But yeah, I gave my thoughts and opinions. Tell me your thoughts and opinions of this list in the comment section below. Are you siding these cards? Do you have different opinions on these cards? Will you personally be siding these cards thanks to this video? Tell me that in the comment section below so I can hear it, get more ideas, or maybe you guys can give me ideas for side deck cards as well. But obviously, guys, don't forget to press the like button as well to say that you enjoyed this video or want to see more content like this. Press the subscribe button to show that you want to see more content from me in your subscription box, and press the notification bell as well to be notified of my streams or anything along those lines that I do at 8 PM UK time on Thursday afternoons. But guys, my throat is in a wreck. This is the end of the video. All of these have options, and please subscribe. I'm on the 1,000 subscriber grind. Almost 250 subscribers away, about 14 off, 263 subs off, I believe, at this point in time. So please press that subscribe button. But guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Robot1 signing out. I love Lancia and an Orcus player. They just stop. It's great. Later, guys.